Now, a lot of people have different things to say about reggae music, this and that. What is your perspective coming from a man from the eye who build rhythm and produce and all them things? What is your perspective on that?
It's evolving. It's evolving. So remember, we are missing the real authentic reggae music, and everybody complain and they're trying to figure out what the authentic music is, and then they say, oh, well, the Caucasian do the music and the blah blah, and they're getting by doing the music. What it is there's a core of our music that if you don't understand that core, if you don't really understand ska and rocksteady, if you start in the 80s and say you're making one drop from the 80s, that you'll be off, because your interpretation of it is going to be a little bit lighter, so you'd have to go all the way Housewife Choice, you know what I mean, Duke Reed, and even beyond that, you know what I mean, you have to go back, way back, so you look on Desmond Decker. So if you don't mention those names to me, you don't touch it yet. You know what I mean? If you don't mention Housewife's Choice and you know, Baba Boom, you don't touch it yet. I'm talking before Jamaica get independence. So if you're not talking mentor, we can't talk. And this is what happened, because I made a statement this week in the papers, and it was, somebody said that I mentioned that the music needs to be mixed better, but that's just a surface. It's way beyond that, you know what I mean? Because there are elements in the reggae music that most of us, big names, they just don't do anymore, because you cut the cost. So, you know what I mean? I could get the technicalities of it. You need a couple more guitarists on the stage. You need hornsman on the stage. But then if you tour with that, you're looking in your budget money, you're like, well, the keyboard hands can play the stuff, and then they're gone back again. So, you know what I mean? So it's a whole...
But
yeah.
I love your perspective, because it's coming from a more of a producer and a man with sound. You understand? So you got the deep history of where it's coming from, you know?
But first and foremost, I'm a musician. So I evolved from studio musician, tour musician, to beat maker, to producer. So as I mentioned before, there is beat making titles that people are calling themselves producers or beat makers. Let me make it clear now. I was once a beat maker who called myself a producer. But when you evolve into being a producer, then you recognize that there's a difference between beat making and producing. So if you're not mature enough to recognize that, I have some more to learn. But I play instruments. For real. So it's a whole thing. And if you can't play the instruments, because there's producers back in the day that don't play nothing, like Cox and Dad, but they can hear. But you can't assume that you have that gift either. You know what I mean? So a lot of it is honesty and thing, but having a musical background is a whole different notch. You know what I mean? So we will be starting seminars for people, and we're gonna be helping each other. No competition, just helping. You know, you help me, I help you. Yeah.
And this is what I think we need, because I don't see, even though a lot of us know about music, we don't get that in depth, how you just tell us there, and about notes and stuff like that. We don't really see that. It's just people that's only just maybe, as you say, they may have a little talent, they may go off a sound, but as a producer who just kind of get in tune with, like, that song, that kid, no, that ain't right to right, you know what I mean? And that is what I feel some of us need within music.
I've watched the creative process of records being made as a young man, at Caveman, at Mixing Lab, at Anchor Music. And when I used to watch even Steely and these guys, when they even Sly, they're tweaking a snare for like a whole day. You know what I mean? Everybody know, in an instrument, in a track, a multi-track, you're looking at minimum 24, minimum. So you're tweaking a snare for a whole long time until it's right. So you have to understand that that type of technicality is not being put into the music anymore. And we need that anymore. But some things, it have to be right. You have to understand frequency.
Right.
And when you understand frequency, you know what sounds work with what. You know what I mean? And if you don't have that, you should be mentored. Find somebody, because the guys, they're still alive.
Right.
Bobby G's are still alive. Sly Rob is still alive. You can sit with them and say, Sir Sly, how do I get this bass to sound this way? Right. And he can teach you, so that's what I would suggest, you know what I mean? If you don't want me to show you, you can ask the teacher that I learned from.
I respect that. I really respect that. I love that. Love that.
So what happened is, I was invited to the Grammys by DJ GQ. And the Sizzler album that I did, and to the FX Music Group staff, big up to the staff, you know, Camille, Weeda, you know what I mean, Jason, Andre, Chevalo, everybody, you know, I have to leave out any names, you know what I mean? So, you know, Leah, everybody. So what happened is, when we did the Sizzler album last year, I did it independently, and I got invited to a meeting at the Grammys. GQ invited me, and when I went there, we were speaking about how is the process, what's the process that I used to bring this music where it was at, because it came in at the peaked at #2 and I'm running with majors. So then I explained to them that there's a core way of doing things. The rules have shifted where we're looking at streaming now as a new standard. So I am a little bit very deep in streaming, you know what I mean? Because it's, you know, it's what I really get into. Numbers intrigues me. So I understand the music streaming and the standard and stuff. So what they did know is there were positions there for people who, we brought up reggae music, and there was a lot of, there was a tense, it was tense, because there was an artist there, and very prominent reggae artist that was very, very adamant about our position in the world of the reggae music as it pertains to the Grammy. So then we suggested that, some suggestions, you know what I mean? And the suggestions that I brought, it was like, okay, so would you be willing to stand in this position with us as a team, Walsh Fire and all of us there, Marga and Heritage? And I said, well, yes, I'm willing to take this position and bring out, listen to the albums, and then we can show you what we need. Because one of the issues that we have is a lot of our music, we're not spending time on it anymore. So we can curse the other guy and this guy making reggae music, but they're putting in a little bit more work because they know that there are factors against them. They are not from Jamaica and all that stuff, so they're putting in that extra work. Sometimes we tend to just say, yeah, we'll do an album and cut through and go through it. So I am there to filter out some of the music that people putting in work too, even from our reggae base, you know what I mean? And we have to look and say, well, this deserves to be and this deserves to be, because they really don't know. Because how the voting goes is, you have to be a voting member. It's not some guy choosing and choosing. You have to be a voting member, and many of the voting members, sad to say, don't really know much about reggae. All they know about reggae is Bob Marley and maybe Peter Tosh. You hear what I said? Maybe Peter Tosh. You know what I mean? And these are legends to us. So when they look in a category and they see a certain name, familiar names, even a son or somebody of a familiar person, that's first pick. You know what I mean? Because if you look and someone tells you to check the Grammy category and you see big names, you see a no name, you're going to go for a big name automatically. And this is how the voting members choose. So my job is to go to all the chapters and explain to them, this is such and such an artist and this is such and such an artist. They're big in Jamaica and I need your support. Without that, it will never work. You know what I mean? So there's just, sometimes we stand back and we think that there's a big guy, puppet playing the strings and stuff. Yes, that does exist in certain instances, but there's times when you have to make an effort. And our people don't even make an effort to buy the music, much less to pay a membership and vote. So this is what I will be educating us about. I'll be doing seminars to, you know what I mean, to the schools, people in Jamaica, people in the islands, that this is how it really works. Yeah, if you don't get involved, it don't work. Just like voting for anything, you know what I mean? So that's really what it is. So that's what I'm there to do, and I'll try my best to make sure it's done.
Maximum respect, because to be honest with you, a lot of us don't really know that process. So you just kind of give us like a wealth of information, but we're gonna go deeper into this some other time. We just wanted to give you a little taste of what, you know, what's in store and everything. But anyways, I Roots on Culture, the beauty in culture. Jon FX, Jaman, you don't know, one love. Yes, I.